So then guys, a lot of you are already asking me, what about the next generation MacBook Air, and will the next generation MacBook Air have an OLED display? Because we've heard that the MacBook Pro is going to be getting this. Is the MacBook Air going to be getting it very close to this too? And also, what will the next generation MacBook Air look like? And also, what kind of chip are we going to get in it? Well, today I'm going to cover that all off today. So first of all, just very quickly, let's talk about where we are with the MacBook Air right now. So just earlier back in 2025, in March time, so it wasn't even that long ago, we got the update to the MacBook Air with the M4 chip put inside of it. Now, this new MacBook Air to me was quite special because it actually came in at a $999 price tag, and you can still buy it from Apple for that. But if you do shop around, you can even pick this up for $850. And this is incredible value for what you're getting. You're getting that M4 chip, you're getting 16 gigabytes of RAM. The only one thing I'm a little bit touch and go on is about the amount of storage you get. Was only 256 gigabytes. But apart from that, it's a fantastic device for its price, especially if you can get it for that $850. Alongside though, with the MacBook Air, we also got the brand new color. What was that new sky blue color? And in fact, I've got it right here. I'm a massive fan of this new color. It looks absolutely amazing. And like I said, I think this is one of the best value MacBooks you can get in a long time out there. It's brilliant, gives you great battery life, and it's also very powerful. But for the next generation MacBook Air then, what's going to be happening? Are we going to get a new design? Are we going to get OLED? What's the new chip going to be? Well, let's cover that then right now. So first of all, let's get everything out of the way then. Are we going to be getting a brand new design MacBook Air coming out with the next generation? What's probably most likely going to be coming out in 2026? The short answer is a no. There's going to be no new design. What you've got to remember is the current MacBook Air design that we're seeing right here, we've had this design since the M2. So we've had M2, M3, M4. That's only been 3 generations. Apple like to keep the design of their MacBook Pros, MacBook Airs for at least 4 or 5 generations before they decide to change it. And with iPhones, it's even longer than that, it seems like at the moment. But the main thing is, what I'm going to say is, we are not going to get a new design MacBook Air. It's going to be very similar to the design that we have right here. We may get a new color introduced, another one. So obviously that's go alongside the sky blue and other things. So maybe another color might be dropped out there. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But the actual design language is going to stay exactly the same. Now, one of the big changes that will be happening to this new MacBook, what comes out in 2026, is obviously the chip that will go inside of it. And more than likely, it's going to be the M5 that's going to be in it. Now, obviously, there's going to be a binned version of this M5, but I want to tell you about the actual, say, full fat version of the M5, the maximum amount of cores. What are we going to get likely inside of this? Well, right now with the M4, we have a 10-core CPU and a 10-core GPU. And that CPU is made up of 6 efficiency cores and 4 performance cores. And this was the first time that Apple decided to up the amount of cores in the CPU on the standard base range kind of M sort of series. We've already had 8 before. So more than likely, this is not going to change. But for the GPU, well, this could be changing because the last time we've had additional cores added to the baseline was the M2. So the M3 didn't get any more GPU cores, neither did the M4. So maybe, more than likely, the M5 will get this, and it could go up by 2 additional cores. So we could go up to a 12-core GPU inside of the MacBook Air, what would be absolutely fantastic to actually get there. Now, for other bits and pieces like RAM, for example, well, that's probably going to stay at 16 gigabytes because only Apple very recently decided to up this amount inside the MacBook Air. It's not even been a year yet since the time making this video. They decided to make that as the base amount. So that's going to probably be sticking around. But one thing that could change is the base amount of storage, because this is the thing I'm now saying what's pulling back the MacBook Air. It comes with 256 gigabytes. This could be up to 512 gigabytes as the standard now. At the end of the day, iPad, the amount of storage that's got upped by a tier recently, so it could be happening the same with the MacBook Airs, that the storage could start at 512 gigabytes of storage. What would be really good news to hear, especially if Apple could also retain that $999 price point with that M5 too. I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic. But then the next question that you guys want to know about is what about the OLED display and what about a brand new design MacBook Air? Well, I'm going to tell you guys all about those details right after I tell you about the giveaway we've got on this channel for this right here. Now, yeah, it's a bit of a deja vu here. You've got a MacBook Air Sky Blue 13.6-inch model, extremely similar to this one, except for this one here is a little bit better than this one, what I'll explain to you guys in just a moment. But the main thing is I'm giving away this MacBook Air to one lucky subscriber at the end of June time 2025. And the great news is that you guys can still enter into this giveaway for this MacBook Air. All you have to do is just put down into the comments below of what technology gear you're hoping to get in 2025. Maybe it is going to be a new MacBook Air. Maybe it's going to be something different like an iPhone. Maybe it's got nothing to do with Apple. It could be Nintendo Switch 2, or it could be something else completely different like a DJI drone or something like this. Just put it down into the comments below right now. Now, the other thing what I'm going to tell you guys is that the second part of the giveaway is going to be happening at the end of June time, where I'll be making a video telling you more details about the giveaway of this MacBook Air, including when I'm going to be doing the live stream, and also there will be a little form to fill into around that time, and I'll be giving you all of that information around that time then. Now, the thing what I did also want to tell you about is that this MacBook Air is a bit more special than this one. This one here is the baseline version, but this one has more love inside of it. This one actually has the M4 full fat. So this is that 10-core CPU, 10-core GPU I was telling you about. It's inside of this one, where this one's got the binned version. There's also 24 gigabytes of RAM in this, and there's also 512 gigabytes of storage too. And like I said, this will be given away to one lucky subscriber on this channel. Now, the last thing I just want to tell you guys about is that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonating, tending to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram direct message. Please do ignore these people. Best you can see right here. Please do report them. So next of all then guys, you're probably wanting to know when are we going to get a new design MacBook Air, and also when are we going to get an OLED display inside of it? Well, for the MacBook Pros, we've been hearing that the M6 MacBook Pros are going to get that new design on it. And obviously this kind of makes sense because obviously it's been about 5 years by that time. We're going to get a new design and, you know, things like this. So yeah, that's going to be really, really cool for the MacBook Pro. But the MacBook Air, as you can imagine, it's going to be a bit longer before it gets that. And in fact, we've actually been told right here that we're going to be getting a new screen put inside the MacBook Air, but unfortunately it's not going to be an OLED. It's going to be an oxide screen. Now, don't worry about OLED. I've got you some news about that too. But the main thing is that this new display is going to be an oxide one. And personally, I believe this new TFT, you know, LED display probably will be Pro Motion too, because obviously it's the one thing what's missing on the MacBook Air, and it definitely is needed. But as you can see from this leak here, it's more than likely that this new kind of screen is going to be in 2027. Now, if you do the maths correct, 2022 is when we got this design of the MacBook Air. 2027, that makes sense. About 5 years later, that Apple decide to actually redesign the MacBook Air with this brand new kind of screen inside of it. So this is really, really great news to hear. But for that OLED display, don't worry, it does look like it will also still come to that new design. And in fact, you can see from this leak here, it does look like it's been delayed out to 2029. That is 4 years away. It's going to be a long time away from now, but that's when OLED will finally come along to the likes of the MacBook Air. But there again, you've got to remember this, like right now with the MacBook Pros, we have the mini LED display. We've had that now for almost 5 years, Pro Motion in that for almost 5 years too. And you get the idea, the MacBook Air is always a tier behind it. So you can imagine 2029 kind of makes sense that they're going to put the OLED in it, because they want the MacBook Pro to sell, first of all, with that OLED Pro Motion display for a good number of years before they decide to put it inside of a MacBook Air, because in Apple's opinions, it would damage the sales of their MacBook Pros. So you can kind of see where it makes sense from Apple's point of view. But with that then, guys, are you excited for the new MacBook Air when it does come out? Are you going to get that next generation, or are you going to wait out for a few more generations? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. And as always, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell too. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.